Hello world, welcome back to my channel. My name's Paul. I just had a procedure on my neck. I'll be a bit sore for a while, so couldn't go away this weekend. But I was about to do my version of slow cooked pulled beef, and it's a cheats version because we can do it in about an hour and a half instead of 8 or 9 hours in the smoker. But for now, let's roll the intro. So normally I'd use a bit of brisket for this, but I went down today and my butcher had this beautiful chunk of chuck beef, chuck steak. So I decided to use that. You can see it's all marbled through here. It's the fat that gives everything the flavour. Now the first thing we're going to do is put in the dry rub. And the dry rub, it's my own mix of paprika, about 3/4 smoked and about 1/4 hot paprika, then onion powder, chili powder, garlic powder and barbecue seasoning. Now all of these you work it out in your own, everyone's tastes different. I've got it set up how I like it. The one thing I will say is don't put too much salt in, guys. I did that once and the whole thing was horrible. But what we're going to end up with today is a beautiful pulled beef in gravy. So let's get to it then. Just sprinkle the dry rub in, rub it in. Yum, it even smells delicious from here. Now the idea is to massage it into the meat, get it right into those nooks and crannies. And nice bloody piece of meat. Sorry to my vegetarian viewers, this is probably one you don't want to watch. And we'll make one code word for this video and we'll make that meat. Yum, look at that. This whole kitchen smells delicious already and we haven't done anything. So I've got that all massaged in. I'm going to be in trouble when Janet gets home. She's just visiting some friends, but she loves this as well, so I won't be in too much trouble. And getting that into all the little splits and things in here. Absolutely delicious. It's all over my hands, so I'm going to wash my hands and then we'll get to the next bit. Okay, now, nice clean hands. Now, I know I had clean hands to start with, I promise. I'm going to put this away in the fridge. And, I'm going to leave that to, I'm not sure if you call it marinate with a dry rub, but I'm going to leave it in, that's the only word I know. So I'm going to say we'll leave it in there to marinate. And I'll show you the next bits when it's time. And while we wait for that meat to marinate a bit, I'm going to put some wood chips in water. Got a bowl of water here, putting the wood chips in. It's hickory and mesquite, which tends to be the best for beef. I've got some other stuff in there for when I do pork or chicken, but this is the best one for beef. And I'm going to leave that in there to soak. And now the meat's been marinating and the wood chips have been soaking for about an hour. Pour some heat beads into the chimney. We don't want a full chimney though, guys, because we're not trying to cook the meat, we're just trying to smoke it a bit. So I've got half a chimney in there, as you can see, and I cheat. I just turn the gas on. Turn the barbecue on and I'll leave that for a bit. And now the beads are ready to go. Just turn the gas off so I don't forget. And here, Janet bought me this glove, amazing. I think it's made of wool or something, but I can pick up anything hot. And sprinkle it into the fire trays in the Weber. Put the top on, let that get hot while we get everything else ready. Now, just going to sieve the water out of these. And now, let's get everything ready to cook. First, the water that I poured off the wood chips, I'm going to put it. I put it in this tray that fits exactly in between my fire trays. Then spread the wood chips over the 2 fire trays. Put the grill on. Put the meat that side up so that the fat drains into the meat. Put my little glove on again. And we're going to close these to about half, which these to about half. Go this way. There we go. That way it won't be a big lot of heat, but there will be a lot of smoke. As you can see, that smoke's starting already. There's a bit of heat in there, so the smoke will spread into the meat. But that's it for now. I'm going to set the alarm for 1 hour, which all the barbecue enthusiasts are going to be saying, what? But this is a pulled beef cheat. And been in the smoker for an hour. Let's see, oh look at that. And I can tell you guys, it just smells amazing. And here's where all the hardcore barbecuers out there are looking at me with hatred. A pressure cooker. This is the trick. I remember back when I was a kid, pressure cookers had a really bad reputation. Blowing up in people's kitchens and things, but these days they're quite safe. So here's the piece of meat. It's been left sit for a while. Good knife. And you can see there's a nice little ring of smoke around there, but it's all still quite raw. But with just a nice little ring of smoke. Delicious. Remember how much flavour there was in that dry rub, so really we don't need to add much flavour at all to this gravy. Just a couple of teaspoons of chicken stock. Make sure all the meat's covered and it's above the minimum line. Bit of old Worcestershire sauce. And I might add a bit of Tabasco later, but for now I think those chili flakes will be enough. Put the top on the pressure cooker. Set the alarm for 15 minutes and we'll check it then. And now that's 15 minutes. It won't be ready yet, but I'm just going to check that the fluid's alright. Not quite. There we go. Oh. So back on for another 15 minutes. And I wish we had YouTube had smell-o-vision because it smells unbelievable in here. If I can ever get this top back on, we'll put it back on. There we go. So that's half an hour. Let's check. And looking and smelling delicious, but let's just see. Falling apart. So that's half an hour. Now I've got one last little thing to do. Now I've got some gravy powder here, just the Australian version, any gravy powder that you've got. But if we look at this meat, look at that, just falling apart, unbelievable. That's in an hour and a half of cooking, bit of prep, and you've got some delicious barbecue smoked pulled beef. And now I've got the gravy mixed in here. Pour it in. Oh, yum, yum, yum. And we're just about to have dinner. I made dumplings. Now it's a basic damper mix, and rather than show you how to do it, I'll just put a link down below to my mate Steve's channel, to a video he made on how to make damper. And instead of cooking it in the camp oven like he did, you cook it in the gravy of... And at last, this is dinner.
Yeah.
Look what I do. Well guys, that was a bit off subject. But like I said, my neck, I couldn't travel this week. Hopefully it's going to get better. That I went through a bit of pain to get to here. I've just gone down to my local kebab shop. If you're at this end, what part of the world, Aladdin's Kebabs in Morley, they do great. But I just got a nice flatbread straight out of the oven. It's still hot. I'm going to have that with a bit of the meat. And remember guys, only one code word in this one, and that is meat. And if you don't know what those code words are for, I'll put a link up here to the video explaining how you can win a Mavic Mini drone. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the Mad Dog icon up there or the subscribe button down below. Say hello in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.